Good morning, students. So we have finished class 9 and welcome in class 10. Here today we'll be discussing the syllabus of class 10th maths. So in class 10th maths you have 15 chapters. So let us start with the very first chapter. First chapter of yours is real numbers. In this real numbers, in class 9th you have done a number system. In that number system you have studied about rational numbers, irrational numbers, their decimal expansion, how to find rational numbers between two rational numbers, to find irrational numbers between two rational numbers, to represent a rational number on a number line, their decimal expansion, and some laws of exponents also you have done. But here in class 10 you will be dealing with four different topics. The very first topic here is Equivalence Division lemma. Equivalence Division lemma. In junior classes, you have studied about this equation: dividend equals divisor into quotient plus remainder. So, in this equivalence division lemma, you will be dealing with this equation, and you will be proving that for any real numbers, for any integer, there is a sort of representation. The second topic here in this real number you will be dealing with is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Third is to prove an irrational number. Like you need to prove that root 2 is an irrational number. Irrational number. But in class 9 you used to represent this on a number line. Here you will be proving that this is an irrational number. Then the fourth topic in this chapter is to find the decimal expansion of a rational number. Either it will be terminating or non-terminating. And if it is non-terminating, then it will be repeating. So we will be learning about the property of a rational number p by q, which will straight away tell you whether it is terminating or non-terminating. So this was your chapter 1, which is the real number. In this second chapter, which is polynomials. In polynomials, in class 9 also you have done this polynomials, but there you have done 9 identities and similar kind of identities which can be generated out of those 9 identities. Also you have done to factorize polynomial, to divide a polynomial by another polynomial. But here in this class 10 in polynomials you will be finding the roots of polynomial by factorization. This is the polynomial. This will be this is a quadratic polynomial. You need to find its roots alpha and beta by factorizing. And also the second topic I will be doing here in this chapter is to find the relationship between roots and coefficients of the polynomial. So coefficients, we have already done this term coefficient. What are the coefficients of this polynomial? Here in x square, coefficient is a, x coefficient is b, and this is the constant term. So the relation between this a, b, c and the roots of this quadratic polynomial here will be given. Also you will be given sometimes the roots of the quadratic polynomial, and you will be finding that quadratic polynomial in chapter 2. Also division of a polynomial by another polynomial and factorizing and finding its roots. And the third chapter we will be doing here is pair of linear equations in two variables. This will be your first, second, third topic. Pair of linear equation in two variables. In class 9 we have done linear equation in two variables. and you used to plot that linear equation in two variables on a graph. But here in this class 10, we will be dealing with pair of linear equations. It means there are two linear equations. There are two linear equations, and you need to find the roots of these two pair of linear equations. Like ax plus by plus c equals 0. This is a1, b1, c1. a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals 0. So this will be your first equation and this will be your second equation. So we will be finding the nature of the roots. Nature of roots you can find by relation between the coefficients like a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2, c1 upon c2. If this is not equal, you will having some other root. If these are equal, then you will have no root. If infinite, then you will have infinite root. If this is equal and this is not equal, then you have no root. Depending on the conditions of the coefficients of the given two equations, you will be finding the nature of the roots, and also you will be finding the methods of solving these two pair of linear equations in two variables. And the different methods, there are two methods. First one is algebraic method, and second one is graphical. In this graphical method, to represent these equations on a graph, and depending on the intersection, their parallelism and overlapping of two lines, we will be telling the kind of solution or the nature of the root of the pair of linear equation in two variables. Depending on this algebraic, there are three different methods of by which you can solve a pair of linear equation in two variables. First one is elimination. Second one is substitution, and third one is cross multiplication. Method of solving pair of linear equations. There is no such sequence. You can say that this substitution is first and second and all that. So this was about the third chapter, that is pair of linear equation in two variables. Of course, we will be doing some statement sums on this chapter also. And the fourth chapter is quadratic equations. So in this quadratic equation chapter, you will be dealing again with the same in chapter 2. What we have dealt with is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This time it's an equation, and you need to find the roots of this quadratic equation by different methods. First one is factorization method that you have already done in previous classes, and the second one will be new method for you, that is a quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. So this is a direct formula with which you can find the roots of this quadratic formula. And also you will be finding the nature of root of this quadratic equation. You can find the nature of root of this quadratic equation by finding one value which is known as discriminant of the equation. And this discriminant of the equation is denoted by d. And this discriminant is equal to b square minus 4ac. So after finding this value d, you can tell the nature of the root. In third chapter, we have also dealt with the nature of the roots of a quadratic of a pair of linear equation in two variables by finding the relation between the coefficients of these pair of linear equations. But here you will be finding for this quadratic polynomial, it's d, which is b square minus 4ac, and you will be finding the nature of root depending on d. If d is greater than 0, then it have real and distinct roots. If d is equal to 0, then it will have real roots and equal roots. If d is less than 0, then it will not have real roots. We write no real roots. And this thing you will be studying in class 11. Why have no real roots? Because when d is less than 0, at that time when you find the roots by quadratic formula, you will be seeing that this quadratic formula is x equals minus b plus minus under root d upon 2a. So when this under root d is negative, under root d, this is negative. Suppose I give an example, if it is minus 2. We have never studied this negative integers, negative numbers under root. In class 11, we will be studying about imaginary numbers. So these are imaginary numbers. So here we just say that they have no real root. Why have no real root? Just because it's there are negative numbers under root. So here we will just say no real root. So we will be dealing with this d greater than or equal to 0 in this quadratic equation, and we will be solving this quadratic equation by methods that we have already done, and statement sums. And let me tell you, students, for this statement sums in class 10th, what you will do in your NCERT book. This is your NCERT book class 10. This is your NCERT book of class 10, and this is your chapter 4. Chapter 4. This is 4.3 exercise. This is you can see here that this is 4.3 exercise. In that 4.3 exercise, there was a question number 10. This is your question number 10. An express train takes 1 hour less than a passenger train to travel 132 km between Mysore and Bangalore. If the average speed of the express train is 11 km per hour more than the passenger train, find the average speed of two trains. The same question is twisted in board exam. Let me tell you, this is a question paper of this year, March 2020 exam. This is mathematics standard. You will be getting what is standard and what is basic. Actually, there are two streams in maths, basic and standard. Only bifurcation is just because if a student don't want to carry on maths in the higher classes, then one can have basic. Otherwise, if you want to carry on maths in the higher classes, then you have to choose this standard maths. So in this standard question paper, there is a question of the same kind that I have just explained you. This is question number 33. A fast train takes 3 hours less than a slow train for a journey of 600 km. If the speed of the slow train is 10 km per hour less than that of the fast train, find the speed of each train. This is same question which was there in 4.3 exercise question number 10. The only thing is that the language is twisted. And let me tell you very clearly that your NCERT book is the best one. Go through your NCERT book, each and every example, each and every optional exercise, each and every question of your exercise. Apart from that, you have to go through some questions which are twisted of the kind that I have just explained. So in this chapter quality equation, this was the thing. And in your fifth chapter is arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression. In this arithmetic progression, I just give you an example. Like if I say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, so on, so on. It is following a pattern. Suppose if I say so and so on is 30, up to 30. It is following a pattern. We know that the difference between the successive terms is 3. So there are some terms that we need to go through with this in chapter 5. First one is your first term. What is first term? First term is denoted by A. This is your first term. First term is denoted by A. This is your last term. Last term is denoted by L. Then if you want to find any of the terms, suppose you need to find third term, you will denote this third term by A3. Another term, suppose we don't know what is after 15 and 13, we know actually, but if you want to find a term which is not known, you just say another term. And the formula for another term is A plus n minus 1 into D. That will be dealing when you do this chapter. There is one more topic that we will be doing here in this chapter is sum of n terms. There are two different formulas for this. So this is what is arithmetic progression. In this arithmetic, let me tell you one more thing which is there. As I just told you that you should do objective exercises also. You should not leave any of the question in NCERT book. So this is optional, objective optional exercise 5.4 in your NCERT book, textbook of class 10th. This is an 5.4 exercise, optional one. Don't leave any of the optional exercises in your NCERT book. This is very first question. Which term of the AP 121, 117, 113 and so on is the first negative term? You can see this question is the first negative term which is there in optional exercise. Generally what we do or what teachers do, they leave this exercise. But don't leave this exercise, because just the question that I just explained you, just told you, is there in again standard set 3, standard question paper set 3. That previous one was set 2 where we have discussed question of chapter 4. This is standard set 3. You can see in this standard set 3 question number 32nd, which is in section C of this question paper. Which term of the AP 2019 1 by 4, 18 1 by 2, 17 3 by 4 is the first negative term? So you can see this is a question from the optional exercise. So don't leave any of the optional exercise question. Go through your optional exercises also. So in arithmetic progression, this is what we have dealt. Sixth chapter, which is triangles. So in this triangles in class 9, suppose this is one triangle, this is another triangle. You need to show that these two triangles are congruent. But here, what if this is one triangle, this is another triangle? If they have same angles, but their size is not same, then we say that these are similar triangles. So similar is not restricted to triangles, only similarity is for any shape. Suppose these two hands, if one hand was too large and smaller, then we could have said that these are similar ones. So here in this triangle chapter, we will be dealing with similar triangles. Again in class 9th you had done concurrent triangles. There are conditions to prove concurrent triangles. There were 4 conditions. Here also we have conditions to prove triangles concurrent. SAS condition is there, SSS condition is there, AAA condition is there, AA condition is there. So these are the different conditions by which you can prove that two triangles are similar. Here in this chapter there are 5 main theorems. So those 5 main theorems we will be doing when we do this chapter, triangles. But let me tell you, there was a question these 5 theorems are very important theorems that you should go through before going to exam also. And there is this theorem which is straight away, direct theorem is there. This is in basic, let me tell you, this is in basic question paper. This is the theorem. Prove that the ratio of the areas of two similar triangles is equal to the ratio of the squares of their corresponding sides. This is the theorem that we discussed in classes. So that this you have to go through. So 5 theorems which are the very main theorems of this triangle chapter. Other than your exercises, your examples and your optional exercise. Go through optional exercise also. And then 7th chapter that we will be dealing here is coordinate geometry. So in this coordinate geometry, like in class 9, you were plotting a point on a graph, you were finding the coordinates of this point and all that. But here in class 7, point coordinate geometry, we will be dealing with distance between 2 points. There are 2 points. You have to find the distance between these 2 points, provided the coordinates of that those 2 points are given. We will be finding section formula. Suppose these are the 3 points. This point lies between somewhere in between these 2 points, and this point divides these 2 points in some ratio. Suppose 1:2 ratio. You need to find the coordinates of this point. And sometimes you will be given the coordinates of this point and we will be finding the ratio in which these two are divided. This is m is to n, suppose. And then third one is the area of triangle. Suppose these are the three coordinates of a triangle given. You need to find the area of this triangle. It's not that area half base height that you do, where you were given that the length of the base and length of the height. But here in this coordinate geometry chapter, you will be given the coordinates of the three vertices of a triangle, and you need to find the area of the triangle using a formula. That will be learning when you do this chapter, coordinate geometry. Eighth chapter that we will be dealing here is trigonometry, or you can say that introduction to trigonometry. So in this introduction to trigonometry, this is a very important topic in mathematics. Here in this trigonometry, you will be going through a right triangle. In that right triangle, we know this is perpendicular, this is base, this is hypotenuse that we have done till now. But in class 10, perpendicular and base, it may change depending on the angle of consideration. If this is the angle of consideration theta, then this is perpendicular, this is base. But if this is the angle of consideration from where we are observing this point, then this becomes its base and this becomes its perpendicular and this is its hypotenuse. So here in class 10 you will be doing going with the ratios. Ratios of what? Ratios of the legs of the triangle, of this right triangle. Suppose when you say that this perpendicular, let me rub this thing, this figure. We will be going through this figure. According to this figure, if the relation between this perpendicular upon hypotenuse is found, we have a name, special name given to it. It is sine of theta. If base upon hypotenuse is written, then it is cos of theta between them. It have a name, cos theta. And then base upon perpendicular upon base is given, then it is tan theta. Or if I can say that if it is base upon perpendicular, then it is cot theta. So let me write perpendicular upon base, then it is tan of theta between them. Then the relation can be hypotenuse upon perpendicular, that again have a different name, cosecant, secant, and then cot. So this is just an introduction to trigonometry. Then after this is ninth chapter, which is applications of trigonometry. And in this application of trigonometry, we will be dealing with finding the height of building, height of monuments, height of tree, something, provided you are given the distance of that point from the base of the tree and the angle of elevation or something like that. So application of trigonometry is based on this introduction of trigonometry. This is just an application of this trigonometry. And in this chapter 10, which is circles. In class 9 also we have done circles, but this is a bit different than this class 9. In circles, in class 10, you will be dealing with, suppose a line that touches a circle at one point is known as a tangent, and a line which passes through it is known as secant. So you will be dealing here in this figure, like I have already drawn this. This figure, this is what is tangent. This is a tangent to a circle. This tangent is perpendicular to the radius. There are some theorems that we will be doing. There is only one exercise, 13 questions in it. Small chapter. You can fetch good marks from this chapter. There are some theorems like two tangents are equal in length drawn from an external point. Tangent is perpendicular to the radius. When you draw this, two tangents from an external point are sometimes equal angles with the line joining that external point to the center. This angle are equal. So these are some theorems that we will be dealing with in this chapter circles. Then your 11th chapter. 11th chapter is construction. In this construction chapter, there are two main topics that we will be dealing with. First one is based on similar triangles. similar triangles, and the second one is that we have just done circles and tangents. So a circle, you need to draw a tangent to a circle provided the radius of the circle is given and the distance of the point from where the tangent is drawn from the center. This distance is given and other conditions are also given. Similar triangles in construction chapter, you will be given a triangle and you need to draw a triangle which is 3 by 4 of the original triangle. So this is the original triangle, and the new triangle will be the smaller one. So you need to draw this. This is the smaller triangle, this is the bigger triangle. So we will be doing with this chapter construction in this chapter. Then is 12, chapter 12. In chapter 12, we will be dealing with areas related to circles. Areas related to circles. So here in this chapter, you will be going through perimeters and areas of circles. Then sectors and segments, or the shaded portions of sectors and segments. Then combinations of plane figures. Areas of combinations of plane figures, like a combination of areas of plane figures. This is a circle, this is another shape that will be drawn with, and you need to find this area. So this is combination of figures. Some more figures we will be dealing with, like this is a square, this is a semicircle drawn on it. This is one of your examples. This shaded area you need to find. This shaded area. So this is about areas related to circles. In chapter 13, which is surface areas and volumes, that we have already done in previous classes. But in previous classes, in surface areas and volumes, you used to find the surface areas and volumes of single figure. Single figure, like you used to find the curved surface area of a cylinder. You used to find the curved surface area of hemisphere. You used to find the volume of hemisphere. But here in class 10th, you will be having combination of figures. Like you need to find the surface area of a solid which is formed by placing a cone on a hemisphere. Surface area of this solid figure. A cone is surmounted on a hemisphere. Now you need to find the volume of this. So such questions will be there. Apart from this, there is